sunshine in your smile.
But I was in a hotel in Lincolnshire the other week, and this group of chess enthusiasts walked into the hotel and checked in, and they were stood there discussing their recent tournament victories. After about an hour, the manager came out. He said, "Can you lot just go away?" He said, "Well, why do we have to go away?" He said, "Well, I can't stand chestnuts boasting in an open foyer." I was looking for my thesaurus the other day, couldn't find it, I was lost for words. Later that night I was having dinner with Garry Kasparov, remember the chess champion? Yeah, remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, we sat at a table with a tablecloth. Took him 2 hours to pass me the salt. Went to school with a mate of mine. He was in love with 2 school bags. He was bisexual. Sat in the garden the other day. I just looked across the garden fence, saw the neighbour there. I said, hello, what are you doing? She said, weeding. I said, what? She said, weed in the garden. I said, I see what you do, your roses. So I went down to, the other week, the Rovers were playing at home. So I went down to the Mem, because I had a ticket, so it was got a lovely place. Right on the centre line, right down by the pitch. It was brilliant. So I sat down there, the game got underway, and I noticed there was a seat next to me. Just no one sat there. So I thought, that's a bit strange. So I sort of shouted across to the bloke who was the other side. I said, what's this? This is supposed to be your seat. He said, yeah. He said, it's my wife's seat. He said, but unfortunately, he said, she's passed away. He said, it's the first Rovers game, he said, that we haven't been together since we were married. I said, well, couldn't you bring someone else? You could bring a brother or daughter or something like that, or maybe a friend or a neighbour. He said, no, I can't. He said, they're at the funeral. So I went out for a Chinese last week, as you do. Sat at the table, ordering my food. Next minute, this duck comes waddling up to me. He said, you look smart tonight. He said, I like your shirt. He said, those trousers are great. He said, goes well with the shoes. Got the waiter over. I said, I asked for an aromatic duck. So I met this Dutch girl the other week with inflatable shoes. I phoned her up for a date over the weekend, but found she popped her clogs. Oh, dear. So, anyway, a mate of mine is a doctor. How long have we got? He's a doctor. He was telling me of the time that he had this old guy coming in. He said, 84 years of age. He asked him for a fertility test. He said, well, everyone's having one these days, all old babies. Rod Stewart, he said, or the Rolling Stones, they're all having old babies. So he said, this bloke came in, he wanted a fertility test. He said, what is he? He said, you're 84 years of age. He said, what do you need a fertility test for? He said, because I want to give it a try, see what goes on. He said, well, no. He said, I can't be wasting NHS. He said, our funds are really tight these days. I can't be wasting that. He said, well, I just want one. Anyway, half an hour later, he couldn't get rid of him. So in the end, he said, look, I'll tell you what. So I gave him this jar and I said, look, come back when he's sorted it all out. He said, and we'll sort you out from there. Anyway, next day, this same guy appears in the surgery. And he said, what are you doing back so quick? He said, well, yesterday I came in for a fertility test. He said, and, he said, yeah, I remember that. He said, well, eventually you sorted me out. He said, but I've got a bit of a problem. He said, what's that? He said, well, I got home after being at the surgery. He said, I tried it with my right arm. He said, I tried it with my left arm. He said, called the wife in. She tried it with her right arm. She tried it with her left arm. He said, she tried it with her teeth in and tried it with her teeth out. He said, still I can't get the lid off this jar.
Bring me sunshine in your smile.
So, you want a big introduction?
Yeah. I don't care, but yeah, let's do a big
Go on, Chris, introduce
I got to do the build-up, have I? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, last week we heard from Mr. Chris Criddle. Next week it'll be myself. Then it'll be John Ford the week after. But for today's 3-minute stand-up, please give a big hand, and please give it up for Mr. David Southway.
There we are. So I just wanted to know, first of all, why John's got top of the bill. But so I was set the task to do 3 minutes of stand-up comedy routine. Well, that's not easy, really, is it? Unless you're my wife. She sees this routine every night when I take my clothes off, and usually she says, you can't call that stand-up. She's a tough lady, though, Very difficult to please. No, wait a minute. No, that's women in general, of course. Anyway, back to my wife. Even when we first met, I remember our first passionate night together. As I took my clothes off, she pointed to my feet and exclaimed, what funny toes I had. I explained I'd suffered from tonsillitis as a kid. She then pointed out to my knees. And she laughed at what funny knees I have. Well, once again, I found myself explaining that I had pneumonia as a kid. Now, when I took off my white Y-front pants, right, no, yes, I was a real trendsetter in those days. She shouted with joy, I'm so glad you never had diphtheria. So, talk about being a trendsetter. That's an old word, isn't it? I know what you're thinking. He looks more like a red setter. Long, red nose, scraggly hair. Yeah, that's me. Mind you, when I was younger, all the girls found me so funny. Well, were you a geek with glasses in buck teeth? In fact, in one stage, 2 missing front teeth. I used to vow the girls then. Talking of teeth, I went with my wife to the dentist the other week. I was in a bit of a hurry, so I made it clear to the dentist I didn't want any of that fancy type stuff. You know, no gas or no needles, just a bit too expensive anyway. So just pull the tooth out and get it over with. He said, I wish more of my patients were as strong-minded and as brave as you, Mr. Southway. Now, which tooth is it? I turned to the wife and I said, there you are. I told you it was easy. Now tell him which tooth you want out. Whilst I was there, the dentist told me of a funny experience he'd had recently. Apparently, an old woman walked into his surgery, took off all her clothes and spread her legs. The dentist said, excuse me, madam, I think you're in the wrong room. She said, no, you put my husband's teeth in last week. Now you have to remove them. Life and people are strange, though, aren't they? What about grocery shopping? I was shopping the other day and the lady in front of me, after putting through all of her goods, decided when she was given a total price, that's when she'd get her money out. Now, isn't that frustrating? What did she think? She was going to be today's guest shopper and a bell would ring and her goods would be free? Then she can't find her purse. Got me thinking, do you know the only thing missing in a woman's handbag? Space. Another day in the supermarket, I was in the queue, and you know how it is when the cashier starts talking to the customers. I think I'm in for a long wait and should have brought a chair. Anyway, this particular day, the customer bought a small bar of soap, a toothbrush, small tube of toothpaste, small loaf of bread, pint of milk, single serving of cereal, and a single serving of frozen dinner. Well, the guy at the checkout, I know what's coming, this is fun. The funniest is when he gets. The guy at the checkout looks at her and says, single, are you, madam? She got very sarcastically. She said, how did you guess? He said, because you're butt ugly. So, finally on shopping, did you hear about the woman who went into the butcher's shop pushing a pram? No, she confronted the butcher with the news that the baby in the pram was his and asked him what he's going to do about it. Well, he thought about it for a while and finally he offered to provide her with free milk and meat until the boy was 16. Well, she thought it was a good deal, so she said, I'll have that. Anyway, he'd been counting the years off on his calendar, and one day the teenager who'd been collecting the meat each week came into the shop and said, I'll be 16 tomorrow. Well, the butcher said, I know, mate, I've been counting them too. Tell your mother, when you take this parcel of meat home, that it's the last free meat she'll get. And what's the expression on her face? Well, when the boy arrived home, he told his mother what the butcher had said. The woman nodded and said, go back and tell the butcher, son. I've also had free bread, free milk and free groceries for the last 16 years. And what's the expression on his face?
Bring me sunshine.
Very good.
In your smile. Bring me laughter all the while.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time you've been waiting for. It's the top of the bill with you today. Will you please put your hands together? A big round of applause for our star guest, Chris Wood's stand-up challenge.
Oh dear, I've not been looking forward to this stand-up routine, to tell you the truth, but I think I've got it covered, as one carpet layer said to another. You may have heard some of these before, it's the way I repeat them. An Englishman, a Scottish man, an Irish man and a Welsh man all walked into a pub. The barman looked at them and said, is this some kind of joke? Then a grasshopper hopped into the pub and the barman said, I've got a drink named after you. What? Said the grasshopper. Kevin. And while the barman was getting his head around this, a polar bear walked in and said, can I have a pint of beer? Sure, said the barman. But why the big paws? Easier to catch fish. Easier to catch fish with, said the bear. Thank you. Okay. And then a bacon sandwich walked into the bar and asked for a whiskey. I'm sorry, said the barman. I don't serve food. Okay. Okay, says the bacon sandwich. How about some helicopter flavoured crisps? No, says the barman. I've only got plain. Later, just as the pub was closing, the ghost of a cat walked in, as they do, carrying its tail in its mouth. It leapt onto the bar and dropped its tail from its mouth onto the bar. It then asked the barman to fix its tail back on. I'm sorry, said the barman. I could lose my licence. I can't retail spirits after 11 p.m. Now, this...
That's very good.
Now, this very same barman, he used to work in an office. And one day his boss asked him to get some staples from the cupboard. He asked his boss where the cupboard was, because it kept being moved. Don't be daft, said the boss. It can't keep being moved. It's a stationary cupboard. Talking of stationery, if you work for a Canada company, you shouldn't take a day off. And talking of which, can February March? No, but April May. And on a similar theme, why is 6 scared of 7? Because 7 ain't 9. And while we're in the office, why is there music? So I think it's funny. Why is there music coming from the printer? It's the printer jamming. And here's another stationery-related joke, which you may have heard before, but it's a good one, though. An inflatable boy took a drawing pin to his inflatable school. He was immediately dragged into the headmaster's office, where he was told that he let his teachers down, he let his school friends down, and in fact, he let the whole school down. Now, this very same boy's dad worked for the council and was accused of stealing things while he was working on the roads. So when the police searched his home, all the signs were there. And I've just got one thing to say now. Lift music is wrong on all levels. Now, out in the country, we're going out in the country now, a sheepdog gets all the sheep into a pen for the farmer and then reports back to the farmer. All 40 accounted for, says the sheepdog. But I only have 36 sheep, says the farmer. I know, says the sheepdog, but I rounded them up. Talking of sheep, why did the chicken go to the séance? To get to the other side. Okay. Now here's some new collective nouns. A brat of boys, a giggle of girls, a stagger of drunks, a tedium of accountants, a stitch of doctors, a whine of losers, and a jerk of politicians. And have you heard about the new restaurant in Clifton? It's called Karma. There's no menu. You get what you deserve. We're almost done, but first, some light bulb jokes. How many telemarketers does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but she has to do it while you're eating dinner. How many tech support people does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but he'll ask you to switch it off and back on again first. And how many 16-year-olds does it take to change a light bulb? Whatever. One last thought. Nostalgia. How long's that been around? I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at great expense, well, no expense, really.
Well, the bus fare here.
Three and six.
We hand you can take him away, John Ford, and stand up tonight. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Stand up, hey? Stand up. 3 minutes of it, apparently. Why? I asked myself. I hate standing up. Well, you wouldn't get on a half-empty bus and stand up, would you? No, you'd sit down. It's the same on a train. In fact, on a train, we don't want it, not one, we want 2 seats, don't we? I mean, it's really annoying, isn't it, when someone sits next to you and invades your space, and even if the train is full, some people still sit down. Well, they do if they're the leader of the Labour Party, anyway. Even in sport, we Brits, we excel at non-standing sports, don't we? I mean, we won more medals in the last few Olympics in rowing, swimming, in cycling, all non-stand-up sports. Even the hardest sport of all, the triathlon. You only stand for a third of it, don't you? I mean, the rest is sat on a bike or laid down in the water. Stand up, eh? Who wants to stand up these days? My wife asked me what I was doing on the show today. Well, she always asks what I'm doing on the show, and I always tell her. Don't know why, she never listens to me or the show. Anyway, I told her that today I was doing 3 minutes of stand-up. She said, well, that'll be a novelty. These days you can't keep anything up for 3 minutes, especially stood up. So I reminded her what happened the last time we did it standing up. She couldn't stop shaking. She said, I know, but it was your fault, wasn't it? You didn't tell me that when we were in our favourite place for romance and I leant against the fence that the farmer had turned it into an electric one. Well, it did it for me, I can tell you. Anyway, you know my wife is from Essex, so I explained the difference between an Essex stand-up routine and today's show stand-up routine, and that today was just a few jokes. So she looked me up and down and said, I know, that's always been a joke. I suppose it's a symptom of getting older. I just don't have the patience anymore. I just want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. Like the post office last week. No. We didn't do it in the post office. I went in to get some foreign exchange and the lady said, hello, going somewhere nice? Well, like I'd be going somewhere not nice. Yes, I'm going to Syria. I thought I'd go and visit a couple of me ISIS mates just to see what they're up to. Or maybe I'm off to Afghanistan to pick poppies for 2 weeks. What's it got to do with you anyway, I thought. Of course I'm going somewhere nice. How can I help you, she said. I'd like some euros, please. And then she asked again, going somewhere nice? Yes, I'm going to Europe. I mean, why do you think I want euros? What's it got to do with you where I'm going? My business? How many euros would you like then, was the next question. 200, please. Next question. Have you got a passport or a driving licence for ID? What for? I bought a TV the other week for about 400 quid and no one wanted to know if I could drive the car or leave the country legally. Don't ask for ID in Tesco when you spend 200 quid. Well, not unless you want to buy more than 3 lettuces these days, given that there's a shortage, or Evo stick or something. Now, if this woman in the post office was a proper woman, she wouldn't have needed to ask where I was going, would she? Or how much I wanted, or in what currency I wanted it in. No, as a woman, she would know, because she could read my thoughts, which were, swap yourself for the younger one on cashier number 3, please. Now, my wife always says that she knows what I'm thinking. Well, that's what she says anyway. Of course, I go along with it. But if she really knew what I was thinking, she wouldn't be standing there telling me. She'd be in hiding somewhere. Or better still, say something like, oh, all right, never mind about the stand-up routine. Lie down on your back and you might last longer for 3 minutes. I think.
Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love.
An OG&H media production.